Have you ever wondered about the irony behind the whole interactions among individuals? How about if I say the process of communication is the most primal and intimate phenomenon we experience, yet we sabotage every chance we get to understand it or to experience it? Then we desire to be able to communicate properly. Well, you see the irony over here? How does that even work? Well, it doesn't. That's why people seek guidance for it. Which brings me to my another interesting fact that even if people learn to communicate properly, or if I may say, learn to speak in English, evidence suggests that they lack those very skills in other aspects of their life, and many of them are still struggling with it. When we talk about the communication, it is the most crucial driving force. It has been the most crucial driving force throughout the process of evolution. From competition to cooperation, it has been the baseline for all the living organisms, for all the life forms on this earth. Sensing dangers from the environment and informing others in the group, another form of communication. Communication between environment and the monkey, and from one monkey to the group of monkeys. Inviting someone for lunch or asking out someone for a coffee date, another form of communication from one individual to another. So you see, the communication has been same throughout the ages. Not only from the dawn of civilization, but since the inception of life on this planet Earth, communication has been the driving force till now, today, in whichsoever sector, if we will say, from the construction site to the corporate office to an army man battling in the field or marching outside the barricade or in an education system or at home for day-to-day, chores and work. Communication has been the driving force for us. Such a complex process, but has already been taken care of for millions of years, not only by our ancestors, the fellow humans, but by the other organisms, by other animals as well. We are still facing problem with communicating properly, and we are still facing problem with learning how to be able to communicate properly. So what is that we are lacking? Example of two people. At one place we have Ram, and at one place we have Sham. They both started their communication journey at the same time. They both had a different educators, and they started from the same basic level. And one of them, the Sham, is able to surpass the barriers and able to learn within the speculated time. Ram isn't able to do that and still struggling with that. And so many of us are Ram. Another possibility could be that the Sham had the better educator or the better trainer than the Ram, or the study material he has used and referred to were better. Was that? So I would like you to pause for a moment and think about it. What if there is nothing to do with the trainer? What if the problem is in how we as a learner perceive this process? How we as a learner are perceiving the process of communication, and how we as a learner is perceiving the learning process at all. Let's talk a little bit more about it, okay? The process of learning, when I say. So as I already said that the complex process of learning has already been taken care of. Then what is the problem now? Because earlier, people never thought like that. Maybe. It was supposed to be a work. The communication was a simple process of transferring information from one person to other person as per the requirement. And the requirements were mostly of urgency. So things needed to be conveyed. That was more important. Message delivery was more important at that time. The same process, one sender, one receiver in a medium. The message is transferring. Okay, so that was more important. But now, so many basic survival things we have already surpassed. Okay, we have passed it. In our day-to-day life, we do not come across so many urgencies. And the beauty about the learning process, do you know the beauty about the learning process? Is when we separate learning from emotional connect, it becomes a burden. When we separate learning from the emotional connect, it becomes hectic. It becomes a burden. which leads to exhaustion, fear, anxiety, or nervousness. Our body's defense mechanism towards unfamiliar, unfavorable, and unwanted situations, circumstances we are feeling at that moment. So our body is just doing fine. Its work is to protect ourselves, so it is protecting and the chemical signaling in our body. So that is happening because we are separating the learning from the emotional connect and making it a burden. Maybe it is not the trainer, or maybe it's not the study material or the good videos. The problem could be in us. The problem could be in the way we are perceiving everything, the communication. So far, to sum up again, because there has been a lot of talks. So far, we have talked about the irony behind the communication. Okay, what is it? From the basic primal level, this was supposed to be this. From a single cell organism to the monkeys, to the one-on-one individuals, the communication has been the same, just a different form of expression so far. Over the years, is just to transferring information. We needed to understand this concept. Even if we know that, we have heard it so many times, we never understand it, and we needed to take care of that. But it is simple. It needs to be transferred, So we have understood that. And then we have talked about the major problem we are facing nowadays, everyone's facing in learning the communication process. To be able to learn how to be able to communicate properly in different scenarios. For that, we needed to calm our mind. And that is exact thing which in every maybe educational video series or every faculties, when people tell us, make up your mind, and what's, never, and people never really explain that, what does that mean? So, make up your mind does mean this. You need to understand. So that is what we have done so far. We understood the concept of communication at the basic primal level. We understood how is it working, and we understood the mechanisms which has been flowing out and what needs to be think. And trust me, you try this. You try this few times. Why do you need to communicate? You make it so simple that information needs to transfer. That's it. And then fear, anxiety, exhaustions, everything will fade away eventually. If everything is so jibber jabber in your mind right now, you have already watched this video. You have been so far with me. Thank you so much for that. But still, if you're feeling like you're forgetting everything, please go back and re-watch the video again. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, in however way you want. But do that again, so that to make sense of it. To make sense of this whole conversation, because this is important. This is the base for our future conversational series, or if I say for our future educational series. So thank you so much for listening me so far. You have been so patient, and I cannot thank you enough. Seriously, I cannot thank you enough. This was my first video, and this is my first video, and I am so grateful to be able to, transfer my experiences, to be able to communicate, to be able to transfer. So it is so great to be with you all. Thank you so much, and have a good day. Bye bye.